Hey guys, and welcome to episode 9 of my knitting podcast. My name is Marlene and I'm a knitter from Germany. Today I will be talking about some finished objects, my works in progress and some upcoming plans, as well as a couple of small acquisitions. So if this sounds like something that you would enjoy watching or listening to while crafting yourself, maybe knitting or crocheting as well, stay tuned and let's get into it. If you're enjoying my videos in general, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving the videos that you enjoy watching a like. I don't know why, but recently I've been, having like a twisted tongue whenever I start talking to the camera, which I'll ease, I relax a bit more throughout the video. So I hope you're okay with that, and I hope you're staying entertained while watching and listening to me. So let's start with what I'm wearing when it comes to finished objects. I'm actually wearing my Monday sweater by Petite Knit. I've just recently finished this, washed it, blocked it, and now I'm wearing it. It is knitted with Olivia and Oliver fibers, fingering Merino in Eggnogg. This was inspired by Chelsea, who made a lovely sweater number, I think 9 in this beautiful hand-dyed yarn, which was also my introduction to Olivia and Oliver fibers. I've talked about her yarn. I did also forget to say I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway that I've put up on my last video in this episode right at the end, and they are also going to receive a sock set by Olivia and Oliver. So at this point, Olivia and Oliver fibers is kind of like my favorite hand dyer. I haven't tried many other things, but also Tam, who's the owner, is such a lovely person. She's been really nice to chat to on Instagram as well, and so yeah, I just really love her stuff. I'd love to try some other stuff as well from other hand dyers, but I think I'll have plenty of opportunity in the upcoming months and years. So I'm fine to have like one favorite for now. And I did hold the fingering Merino with a mohair, with the soft silk mohair by Knitting for Olive in the color Oat. I did choose a kind of more like a neutral, more grayish or cool toned mohair to hold it with, I would say, just to tone down the like really bright yellow specks in this color, which I think worked out quite well, if I do say so myself. I did some sleeve modifications, which they really weren't intended to be modifications. I don't know why, but I got distracted while knitting the sleeves. I did pick up a few more stitches under the arms just to be like really cautious of not getting any holes here, because with raglan that can happen, and because this is just like the 3rd raglan I've done, it's just something I've gotten more like cautious of, and I think it worked really well with this. I don't have like any sign of holes under my arms. I hope you can see that. Yeah, so that happened. So I had I think like 4 more stitches picked up than were suggested in the pattern, and because of that I had to decrease a couple more stitches. And I did, but then also I got distracted, and sometimes when it says like bind off or like decrease in every like 5th round, like for example, I always like mix up if I'm in the 5th round or if like the 5th round is coming up. I mean, I could have used, and I will do that in the future again, because I've done that before, and I'm doing it with like, for example, say socks. I'm always putting in stitch markers every like 10 rounds, just to like keep track and not having to count all of the stitches all of the time again. So I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't do it. So the decreases are not the neatest thing, but I don't think like you can tell you're not looking at them. In the end, it was just important to me that both sleeves were similar or like close to matching. And so that was just something I was cautious of. And at the end, I did have a bit too many stitches left because of like the mixed up decreases. So I had to do like a couple of like steep decreases, which is creating kind of like a bit of a, and that side is more similar, more visible than this side. But yeah, it's more like a steep increase or decrease. But like, I don't think you're able to like actually see that. So we're just ignoring that. I did do kind of like a lengthy ribbing at the arms, at the sleeves. I don't think it's the same centimeter count that was asked for in the pattern. I did actually also shorten the body a bit. I do have like a couple of grams of both of the yarns left, so I could have done maybe like 2-3 more rounds without having like to be very cautious of running out of yarn. So now I hoped I would have done that, but I didn't, and I don't want to like beat myself up about it. I'll try and see that I can use all my scraps in the next couple of years. Right now I'm just like collecting whatever I've left, and I would love to do some like scrappy blanket in the future. So I think that should be that could like where that could go, the scraps could go to that eventually. So I'm okay with that. So I did shorten the body a bit. I did change up the sleeves again. I did put in an elastic. So I'm not sure if this video will go up, but I did film a video I think 2 days ago about my stash and about some tips and tricks, which included like me putting in an elastic and showing you guys how I do it. And it also involved me speaking about washing and blocking. I don't know, but I'm not happy with that video, like completely satisfied with how it turned out. And whenever editing a video that you're not in like completely feel confident with, it's difficult to listen to yourself sometimes, especially when I've got like a knot in my tongue. So I don't know if that is going to go live, but I will at some point like film a similar video. It was quite difficult to do because I had to like get out all of my stash. Like I've pretty much rearranged my living room twice that day. But yeah, so that is all that I have to say about this beautiful sweater. I've tried to like put in all of the details into my Ravelry project page as well. So if there's ever something that I've missed in a video, please feel free to check that out. It's going to be linked in the description box as well. And also whenever like I'm mostly trying to put all of the really like informative information, like such a like the key information in the description box as well. So yeah, moving on to my next finished objects, which I mean socks are like pretty much 2 finished objects, and with these that is especially true because I did have one of those finished before and I showed it as kind of like a whip, and I did make myself promise to myself that I would finish or cast on and finish the second sock, the missing brother or sister sock, within like the period of that is considered winter, which I did it. I made it. These are my Sysleriget or Sysleriget. I don't know why I'm saying this like every video, like saying it wrong and then saying it right, but also wrong because I can't speak Danish. But yeah, I'll hope to not have to like say that word too many more times after like showing you my finished objects, because I love the yarn, but I don't love not being able to say the name correctly, because I don't know why I find that to be disheartening, or like, I don't know. So whatever, Marlene, get yourself together. These are my finished winter 2020 colorway vanilla socks. these are like as vanilla as a sock can get, although I'm like always using the double like 2x2 ribbing. This is a normal long tail cast on. I'm saying that because I think I found my new favorite sock cast on, possibly. Yeah, I love these. I can't wait to wear them. I actually held on to them like beautiful and shiny new, just blocked off the blocking like thingies, just to show you without them being, I don't know, worn. So I'm going to show you a close-up. I hope you can see the beautiful colors that are in this colorway. Like I said, I do really love it, and these might be my favorite socks I've done so far, and I can't wait to wear them. Like I said, I held on to them. I might actually just put them on now because I couldn't wait to put them on. They're a perfect fit. I think that I've now I think this might be my third or fourth. No, this is actually my third sock that I made, and I think I've found like my perfect sock recipe now, which is great. So yeah, I used the Sysleriget Handdyed Yarn in the 2022 colorway and the long yarns in chocolate. And my second finished pair of socks, which is my third finished object, or pair of objects, is actually my second Christmas socks. This is the Olivia and Oliver Fibers Cozy Christmas sock set. I did hold this double to create kind of like a DK weight sock, and I also created this kind of like marled heel by using one strand of the green colorway, which was called Pine, and then one of the like speckled funfetti Christmas colorways together, and this created this beautiful heel. I think this is like the heel flap. Is this a gusset? Like heel flap and turn, and then that is the gusset. I actually don't know, but I do know how to make vanilla socks. I've listened to the Crazy Sock Lady talk about it, like talk through it so many times that now I can pretty much just look at the pattern, the written out pattern, and know what to do. Like I said, I know my perfect like how many stitches I need to do for the foot before I start the toe area kind of. These I was a bit cautious of running out of the contrast colorway because I was holding it double, so I was essentially using twice as much. So this is also the kind of like lucky coincidence which brought me to these beautiful marred heel flaps. And also now I've realized, and I'm going to show you in one of my whips as well, that I actually like a bit more of like a lengthy ribbing, but with these, I mean, it's totally fine like that. With the two Christmas colorway socks, I mean, you'll have to make mistakes or like try something to realize how you actually like prefer it or like it, which that applies to so many things in life. But yeah, it's, I don't know, like trying to find your perfect, I don't know, pizza or like ice cream. You'll have to try a few flavors to see what you actually like best or prefer. And I've come to realize I really like vanilla socks, but I also want to try some maybe new, not too difficult patterns, and maybe also a lace sock soon. Actually, there is some yarn coming in, probably like tomorrow or the day after, but I couldn't wait to film until then because I'm actually going to drive to see my friend Emma soon in like a couple of days. So I wanted to get this episode filmed, edited and uploaded before then, because I did want to just like spend and enjoy my time with her. Yeah, so I do have a couple of days of work now, so I was reading through all of your comments and preparing for this episode. And yeah, I'm really happy. I mean, those are both Christmas colors, like colorways. Tam, who's the owner and artist behind Olivia and Oliver Fibers, she said that she would probably bring this back because this was a popular colorway, and also she really likes it, I think. So yeah, so if you want to get onto this, I think she's going to have a shop update on Friday. I hope this is going up before then, but I think so. We're having like, it's the 21st of February today, so I think it should be up maybe in like 1 or 2 days, let's hope. And yeah, so on Friday, which is going to be, I think, the 24th, she's going to have a shop update, so go and check that out. And I think maybe when it comes to the Christmas colorways, she'll bring them back when it's a bit more like close to Christmas as well. So yeah, that's all that I have to say about these socks. I hope I don't forget anything now that I've put in so much love with them, and I've found to like casting on the second sock can be so much fun again. I mean, you know what was difficult with the first one, you can actually improve a bit, which then they won't like be twins, but more like sisters, because they might look different from like the mistakes you've done on the first one, you've learned for the second one, I think. But also I found that to be so much fun. Like I enjoyed knitting the second sock for both of those so much, and I think I've broken the spell of like second sock syndrome for now. I mean, I'm not saying that it won't ever happen again, that I will get tired of sock knitting. I think I found that the key is to just knitting one pair at a time, because honestly, knitting 2 sets of Christmas colorway socks, even though I tried to like change it up by making this one DK and the other one fingering, it was just a bit overwhelming, I think, for me. I was trying to get both first socks finished. Had I done it like right after one another, I would have had like the first pair finished and then casted on the second one. So yeah, I don't know. There are so many learnings in knitting, right? So yeah, I just really enjoy them. I can't wait to wear them. And I'm going to show you my next finished object before moving on to socks again. My fourth, I think, is it fourth? Yeah, it should be. Finished object is actually a Stockholm hat by Petite Knit. Some of you who've been watching me for some time know that the Stockholm hat is probably my like perfect hat until now. I'm obviously hoping to try and diversify my hat range a bit. I'm actually looking into casting on, I mean, yeah, they are both Petite Knit patterns as well, so there's like nothing too fancy about that, but I'm hoping to cast on the hipster hat and the weekend hat. I mean, that looks just like right up my alley, and I've seen so many people making their own version of it. I'm really excited to cast that on, as well as the weekend hat band. I've actually found a skein of leftover yarn from my zipper sweater, which could like potentially be the perfect fit. I'll have to cast on and see, or maybe gauge swatch before, because we all know how that happened. The last time I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to make a hatband. That one turned out a bit small, right? But I've actually sent that off to my friend whose birthday is going to be this week, and I hope she'll like it. I know she has a smaller head than I do, because I have not a massive head, but a big head. Yeah. I'm blabbing so much, but now I've gotten into it. Like, I do need to relax into filming the episode, because sometimes in the beginning I'm just like, so, I don't know, excited, a bit like, I don't know. Okay, so the Stockholm hat I'm actually going to put it on. I hope this looks okay. I made this using the Sysleriget Tweed yarn that I had originally intended to use for another hat, and then had to rip back because yeah, I didn't have enough, because that pattern asks you to hold a double with another lace weight yarn, so I didn't do that. Now I do have a bit of this left over, and with the crown and how like deep this sits, I could have gotten like a couple of more centimeters into it, but I'm not mad about it. Like this is also going to be to a like scrappy project. Maybe this is going to be a like a stripe in a scrappy blanket someday, or also maybe a scrunchie. I don't know, but this I have left. Right now I'm putting most of my projects on Ravelry, even though I said in the past that I don't think, or I don't know if I'm going to put all my socks, but I've found, I mean, I do have the like analog writing down my knitting notes in the Laine like book I bought, and I like that. I'm always putting in my like the skein bands, the ball bands into that, and like taking like tiny piece of the yarn and like putting it in, because I like scrapbooks essentially, and journaling and like album like pictures. I essentially love crafting, not just knitting, and I like doing that like in an analog way, but also online. I'm just trying to like keep all my notes, to just be like, to know what I've done, and to see like, for example, what my perfect beanie like stitch count was, and if I didn't like do any modifications, I also know that this project just fits great the way it does. But I could have gotten like 2-3 more rounds in this before I started with the decreases, but I'm okay with that. The one thing that I'm not like really like keen or like chuffed with is the bind off. I mean, I did it pretty much to what the pattern suggests, which is like the last couple of stitches that you have on your needles, you're supposed to like just thread the like end of the yarn through them, and then like just pull it and then stick it in there and then sew it in. And I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect in my opinion, but this is like far from perfect. So I'm not like chuffed with how it's looking. And I was thinking, because this is, I mean, this is ribbing, right? So I wasn't sure if like there is a way of like Kitchener stitching it together. So I don't think it's the neatest looking. And I was just wondering, and also I think you can like see the thread going through it. So I'm just not in love with this finishing. And I was thinking, like, can I just unravel that? Like just the bind off, and then like Kitchener stitch it. If you have like any experience with this pattern, or with like a similar pattern, I'd love to get your guys's like feedback or ideas on this, if it would be like possible to use Kitchener stitch, because I've done this pattern now like maybe 5 times before. I have a couple of other colors in this. This is my favorite hat pattern. Like I said, until now, I do think it suits me really well. And I did felt 1 or 2 in the washing machine already, which is why I'm not using the washing machine anymore to wash my hand knits. I mean, I was using the WoolCycle, not that anyone's like screaming at their at their screens now saying like, obviously, duh, you shouldn't be using your washing machine. I was using the WoolCycle, and like I was doing all the things you're supposed to do, but apparently my washing machine hates me, which great. I've been wearing this a couple of times already. I don't love it in like with the Monday sweater together. I'd much rather have like a solid color sweater and then the marls or like tweedy accessories, or the other way around. So if I'm wearing this, I'll try and have like a solid beanie on my head if I need one, because it's been getting a bit warmer here, which is also nice. I mean, I'm a bit sad that like the sweater weather is going to go away eventually, but also I'm craving the sunshine right now. So yeah, some mixed feelings about that. So yeah, if you have any like tips and tricks or opinions about the modification that I'm thinking about doing, or if you're saying like don't bother, it's not going to work, it looks okay like it is, please feel free to share in the comments about that. So moving on to whips, thank you all so much for weighing in on my what to cast on next question. Although some of you made a really great point of waiting with the black project until like the evenings get more lighter, like when there's more light out there. So I think that might be a spring project. It's not going to be my next cast on. Most of you actually voted for the festival sweater, which I mean, I did ask for your guys' opinion, so I was really grateful that a couple of you, or so many of you, actually did weigh in. But at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes people like suggest what you should be doing, and if your like gut feeling tells you that something else is actually what you want to do, that's also like a great result of asking someone's opinion, I think. But I appreciate you guys' feedback or like opinions. But I knew, I don't know why, but this was like kind of like a feeling with the festival sweater, there was something wrong. I was excited to cast on before swatching. I enjoyed swatching. I washed and blocked the swatch, and then I looked at it and I didn't know, but there was something like not quite right with it, and it was just not what I had imagined it would be. I can actually, wait a second. So I actually got it off my my swatch board, or like my, I don't know what to call that thing, but yeah, my inspiration board. And I mean, I love the bubble, like festival, I think they look like kind of like festival garlands. I love the colors of those. And I do love the color of the double Sunday, but I don't love them together. So this was the gauge swatch, which I didn't use for gauge. I used more for like the feeling to see if I could do the baubles and such. So when I originally bought the yarn for this project, I didn't want to get the Almond double Sunday color, which most people use for this project, because I thought it might be too yellow. And now I'm wearing this, and obviously I was a bit afraid that with my light complexion, other people might call it paleness, but I'm trying to be nice to myself. So with my light complexion and my blonde hair, which now I've actually been to the hairdresser this morning, so I had a really nice like self-care morning and like got pampered actually by my lovely hairdresser. So yeah, but with the hair being like highlighted again, which means that it is actually lighter again, I was a bit afraid that it all might be a bit like pale yellowy-ish. So I didn't get that almond shape, but the marzipan. Because I know that I love the Knitting for Olive marzipan. I have that in stash for the sweater number 15, I think. And I was thinking about getting the marzipan for the of the Peruvian Highland wool by Fulcolana for my Wednesday sweater. So I was thinking that marzipan is like the great, not too warmish, yellowy beige, but more like gray beige. But I think with this project, I've actually realized it's a great color, but I would like to have it a bit more like warm. I know I'm like speaking for such a long time, even though this isn't even like a whip, because this was a bit cold, like the base color was too cold for me. I'm actually going to show you the acquisition that I got. Hint, I did get the Almond double Sunday Petite Knit. I'm going to use this for another sweater, which the seri might be coming pretty soon for this. So yeah, I'm okay with switching plans. Even though I love to plan, I'm also fine with my plans changing, especially if I'm like in control of them changing. So That to say, I did cast on another Lento, just because I really enjoyed knitting my first one. First of all, the cal is still going on at the moment, I think until like the beginning of March. The cal is by Amy Palko of The Meaningful Stitch and Rebecca Claw of the Creative Bay Knitting podcast. I enjoy watching both of those podcasts regularly, so yeah, and I follow them online as well. And I did have the yarn bought for this. I actually used a mohair. No, it's not a mohair. It's actually a alpaca silk. It's called the Baby Silk Lace Solid in White by Kremke. I had bought that with the intention of using it for another project, but I never did. And because the Baby Silk Lace is actually quite, you'll see whenever I hold it up to show you guys, you'll see that it's quite fluffy. It does have like a huge halo in comparison to other things that I've done, although if I'm looking at this also has kind of like a huge halo, which I'm not opposed to, and also I don't adore. Like I like both. I like having garments without any lace weight fluffiness, and I love having some garments that do. The light is going like crazy into our living room right now. It's like the end of the afternoon, so I hope you'll still be able to see me well. And I'm going to show you my second Lento. I'm not going to talk around the bush anymore. This is my second Lento. Holding, I know, seeing these two next to each other, you'll get an idea of what kind of like hand-dyed yarn I love. I also love solids. I'm like kind of like split in the middle of loving like really rustic, European, like Scandinavian, rustic, semi-solid tonals, and also loving light speckles. But yeah, this is the birch wood colorway of the TheWoollyChicken, which is an odd name, and it's not one of those like cool hand-dyed brands that I would love to try, and I will hopefully try this summer as well, because I'm going to a yarn festival, hint hint, and I hope to bring you along, but that's for another day. It's not like a cool brand, but I love the yarn. Like birchwood is everything. This is like all of the nice oranges, maybe some like blue specks, some really dark like brown, nearly like black specks, and I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm holding it with a 70-30 mix of alpaca silk, and I'm interchanging hangs every like 5 centimeters, I think. I did start around, I hope you can see this, I did start around here. Can you see? This first part was quite like, the orange was quite bright, and then it's moving on to be a bit more like subtle, which I hoped it would be, because I thought like when I started the yoke I didn't love it, but when I interchanged hangs a bit more and went on to knit it, first of all, I love the process of knitting simple raglan. Second of all, I don't love the just putting one stitch marker with this project. I did put in another one after just the like one right like stitch that you had to do just for my like guidance, because that's how I learned to like raglan. One modification that I made is that I didn't do the provisional cast on, because I don't know who would like do that if they could also do a long tail cast on, because with my first sample of the Lento I did just want to have like the most basic ribbed long tail cast on just to give it a try, and I do like it. It's like kind of like a sweatshirt style, but I did realize through this process as well and through making the Monday sweater as well, that I do enjoy a double folded collar the most. I would love to try, and I will be trying in the future, some turtleneck, and maybe just a like the one that the port sweater or the what's that called, Louvre sweater from Petite Knit has, the one that just goes up but isn't like a full like folded down turtleneck. I would love to try those, but generally saying, I love a double folded collar crew neck style, and I think that suits me the best as well. So I did that using the instructions, or letting myself be guided by the instructions for the Monday sweater as well. So I did also do the double knitted stitches in like halfway through the ribbing, and then just knitted it down together with the like the live stitches with the cast on edge, and it looks really neat. It's still really stretchy, but also looks great, and I'll put in an elastic later on in here as well. So yeah, this is everything I can say about this project so far. I'm thinking about like what kind of arm, like sleeve, I could do for this. I like the way I did my Lento sweater, which was kind of like full, or at least bracelet length sleeves, because I don't think I'm a person that enjoys having like 3/4 or like really high up sleeves, because when I'm wearing sweaters I do want to be warm, otherwise I'd be wearing a shirt or like a t-shirt or something lighter. So I think the Lento could be a great thing to put on in the spring or summer in the afternoon whenever it gets a bit colder, but also that is like not contrary to the fact that I like a longer sleeve more, so I will probably do that. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on how the second Lento is coming along. It's so much fun looking through all of the ones that people are making online, and I think it's a great beginner friendly project. So I also cast on my second test knit, which is so exciting. I was so happy that Anna, who's Gregoria Fibers, picked me again to be in her test knit. Apparently I must have done a good job with the first one, and I enjoyed that process so much. I would love to get to know or like chat to some of the people who are test knitting this sweater as well. So if you're test knitting for her as well, please do feel free to like send me a DM on Instagram. Now, I mean, I'm really chatty today. I hope the light is actually not like too distracting, and we're going to be able to move forward with this, because I'm actually going to show you jute sweater. This is the back panel and how much I've knitted so far. It's, oh, I did hold it the wrong way around, I'm sorry. So this is the front. So this is going to be the outside, the right side. I'm using a yarn that I wanted to try for some time now. I've actually got it here. This is gifted kindly by Isaga. It's the Alpaca one, which is 100%, I mean, this colorway is 100% undyed. It's the Eco line, so it's E7S. It's 100% alpaca, like I said, E7S, and this is the Jensen yarn by Isaga in the colorway 7S, which is pure new wool, and together they make a beautiful drapey, but also like structurally integral, and also so soft. Like this is rustic, together it's just the softest. I mean, it's not the softest, it's rustic but soft, and I think I will love this. I love the like special interesting pattern. I hope, and I think this might be a great thing to try and do before moving on to the to do the I've just realized that I might have made a mistake, because I was looking back at my swatch and I think the repeat should have been like, I should have repeated the pattern twice more. I need to check, because now I'm like a bit, that would be difficult if I've just done a couple of centimeters, should be fine, but I'd be really sad if I had to rip all of that back, but I think I might have to, because I think it's like a 12 stitch repeat, and I do think I've done like a 10 stitch repeat, which I don't know why that happened. That's so sad. Okay, I need to check that. I'll check after filming. I will be talking about this project in my next couple of episodes, I'm sure, because this is going to take some time. It's quite a you'll need to be like focused on the knit. Now I'm like gutted. I hope it's not wrong, but I think it might be. I hope the sun isn't distracting too much, and I will be talking about my last whip, which is actually some Valentine's Day socks from my boyfriend. They are DK weight. This is the Elderflower colorway by Olivia and Oliver Fibers. I've finished one of the socks. This is not blocked, so it's just a bit, yeah. It's in a size large and supposed to fit his EU size 42-43 size feet. He did try on this first one and it fits him perfectly, so I'm really happy with that. So this is my first one. It took me, I think, like 1 week, since about a day before Valentine's Day when I started them. And actually this morning I was at the hairdressers for quite some time, because my paintings, I just get them like once a year, and then sometimes she just freshens them up. I might just have to wait a second. So I know this lighting is a bit weird, but I don't know what to tell you guys. I won't be filming in the afternoon again. The mornings are so much better, but like I said, this morning I was sitting at my hairdressers for a couple of hours, because these like paintings, I do have a lot of hair and they take quite a lot of time, but I'm really happy with them. And if I'm going to tell you that I cast on this second sock when I came in at like 9 o'clock in the morning at my hairdressers, I had to redo it 3 times, because the first time I didn't leave an end that was long enough, so I was not getting like along with the 56 stitches that I had to cast on. Then I left a tail that was too long and I didn't want to waste any of my contrast color. And then on the third try I got all of these things right. And yeah, when I tell you that I've like done 1/3 of the sock, I've nearly finished the the heel flap, I'm not lying. This is how much I got done at my hairdresser's appointment, which I'm so happy with. I mean, I'll put in some more work on this today, this afternoon and tomorrow morning, and hope to finish them tomorrow so I can give them to him like a week after Valentine's Day. I mean, we do not celebrate Valentine's Day, like, really, but I wanted to make him some socks anyway, so that's just the occasion that I've chosen to cast them on for. This is also the same sock yarn that one of you guys will be winning in this episode. This is the Elderflower and cotton colorway, just in a DK weight. And yeah, I really enjoy making them, and I think I'm really happy that I chose the right size. One done and one like maybe like soon to be half finished. I think that's a great thing. And I mean, I was sitting at the hairdressers for maybe like 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 to 5 hours. So I mean, this is still a lot of knitting that I got done, and otherwise I would probably need about 1 or 2 weeks for a set of socks like this. So yeah, it depends on how much time I've got for knitting. But yeah, this is going to be a nice gift, and I mean, he knows about them. He's been trying them on throughout the whole process, so I get him the most close to perfect pair of socks that he could get. So yeah, that was my last whip. I'm now going to show you the one yarny acquisition that I do have, and then some needles that I got. So remember what I said about this not being what I thought it would be, and like not being 100% happy about it. I got 11 balls of the double Sunday Petite Knit in Almond. I did do that because I think this combination with the hot cocoa and the pumpkin spice, I just think this needed something more warm than the marzipan. So I don't have a skein of the marzipan with me now, but I am going to use this for another project, and I will show you whenever the story for that project arrives. But yeah, I do love the project, like how this makes me feel a lot more than this. I don't know if you guys see what I mean, or if you even if you agree with what I'm saying, but I think this is going to be a bit more like this fits better in my opinion. So yeah, I got 11 of these double Sunday Petite Knit. And the other thing is, something that I was asked about also on Instagram just recently is what kind of needles I use. So I was asked about the needles I use, and I've showed you this Stockholm case by Mood before. And I'm not going to talk about the knit pros, it's just that I like them. They could be a bit more sharp at the end. I do get just the sizes that I need for this. I've started like more than 2 years ago with those, just because the friend that taught me how to knit, she used them. So I was just going along with that recommendation. They are well priced, I think, and I'm just always getting the ones that I might need for a project, which is why I didn't get like a set, which is also something that I would recommend to a person looking into buying some new or first needles. Don't get a set right away. Really, just like get like a pair and then try them out. Interchangeables are awesome, and I primarily use them. I do have 2 sizes in the C knit which aren't interchangeable, and I love them. They're size 3 and 3.5 or 3.5, and I've used them for one sock, like a DK weight sock, and my mittens, and I love that they feel kind of like, they feel almost like bendable, although they're not. Like the bamboo or wood that is used is really nice. And also I like the way the cord is able to like swirl around in them. So I have 2 of the fixed sizes of those just to try them out. I got them in a yarn store in Offenbach, which is close to Frankfurt in Germany, and I really enjoyed that store as well. It's called Maschenwaren, and I highly recommend, if you're in the area, going there. If you're ever in the area, to give that yarn store a visit. I would love to go back one day. But other than that, for most of my projects, I use the Knit Pros. But what I actually wanted to talk about are these Chagu. I use the Chagu red lace, like you could see in my sock project, the red lace, for my sock knitting. And at first I only got 2 sizes when I was again at that yarn store near Frankfurt. And I got, I think, like 2.5 and 2.75, which I use for most of my socks. I find that to be the perfect gauge for most of the vanilla socks I've made before. And so now I got the 2.25 and the 3.25 because I want to try out a lace pattern that I actually won in a giveaway by the lovely Bella Helms, I think is her name. She did design the Maya lace sock. I don't have anything of that, like I don't have any of the information written down, so I'm just hoping that I get her name right and the pattern name right. And I joined in a giveaway. I entered a giveaway and I actually won a copy of her socks, which then obviously made me buy some 2.25 needle tips because I need them for her pattern, and the 3.25 I need it for the DK weight men's sock as well. So yeah, I got a couple of those. I have like 2 cords, which I mostly just use one, which is I think the like 50 centimeter one. The 35 centimeter one is a bit short for how I like to knit using the magic loop technique. That has been the one technique that has like made the most sense for me knitting socks at this point, because I have like the front and the back side of the sock, which then makes it easier to do the gusset and like heel flap and heel turn. It's just very intuitive for me that way. I love like seeing people knit with these tiny like 9-inch circular needles. I would love to try that one day. It's just not something that I've done before, and I'm happy with what I have now. But like I said, I've just spent like money on one tip and cords together, and they are expensive, but they will last a lifetime, I'm sure of it. The only thing I would say about these ones is that they don't turn, so that could be like a plus for the C knits. And like I said, I don't have a 3mm ones in these because I have the 3mm ones in the C knits and the Knit Pro. So right now I feel like covered on all bases when it comes to my knitting needles, and I really enjoy knitting with all of them, and I would highly recommend all of those 3 brands. It's just that I don't think that you'll need an expensive needle set to begin with. I think it's a lot, it does make a lot more sense to like get them one size at a time for like the first couple of sizes that you'll need. So if you'll get like a pattern, that's how I did it, and that pattern asks you to knit with 4mm needles, just get like one, even maybe like fixed 4mm needles, and like the size of the cord that is also asked for in the pattern. I've learned that with Petite Knit's patterns before anything else, and that worked great. And also those like sizes will be the ones that you'll come back to most. And with like the popular sizes, at least for me, these are like the most popular sizes are like 3, 4, 5mm. I do have multiples, like I have 2 sets of those like sizes that I do use the most regularly, just because if I have like a beanie on my 4mm and I need them for like the ribbing on another project, I don't want to be waiting on them. But that took some time, like that took 1 or 2 years until I had like doubles. One thing that I forgot to mention about this, and then I'm going to talk about the giveaway winner and going to shut up about my own knitting process, is that I think I found my favorite cast on. This is the German twisted cast on, and I'm talking about this like I've like discovered a miracle. Is actually the suggested cast on in the pattern by Kay Litton, by the Crazy Sock Lady. I've just always like ignored that it suggested using this, at least in the DK version it does. I don't know why, I was just like very used to the long tail cast on and a couple of others like the tubular cast on. But trying this with help of Andrea Mowry's tutorial that I'm going to link in the description down below was just the best. I love how it looks. It looks so neat. It is extremely bendable, which like is perfect for my boyfriend who has quite like a high foot. So he needs to be able to get it over his foot without this being like too baggy on his leg, obviously. Because yeah, that is another tip or trick, not by me, it's just in the pattern. I just didn't like read it or just wasn't brave enough to try something new, and how I was, which is always nice. So moving on to, this is just like going to be small little note on something that I was talking about in my last episode. Moving on to a bit of like a personal note. I'm really glad about opening up about my mental health struggles in my last video. It seems to have helped some of you guys just by like hearing someone else talk about it. It's helped me massively, just feeling authentic with what I'm putting out there, and also reading through so many of your comments, and just like sometimes you just have to like realize again and again that so many people are struggling also in this community, maybe just because knitting can be so like soothing, and also is something that people maybe like with anxiety search for something like that to keep their mind and their hands occupied, and like maybe just do something nice whenever we're feeling like not so nice. So I did write a note on this, and I've just now freestyled it, but yeah, it was important for me to put that out there, because I know following people online, their lives, especially when they like show whatever they bought or made, or have, or I don't know, like material things, can make the life of the person you're actually watching or like seeing parts, like little snippets of, appear perfect, when it isn't. Like, it's not like it's far from being perfect. I do have perfect moments in my life. I do have perfect projects, or like perfect, close to perfect. I have a lot of privilege. I have a lot of possibilities that maybe some other people don't have. So I have a lot of gratitude for my life, but also I'm struggling, and I think that's so important to speak about. And so I was just really, really happy to read through all of your comments, being so nice. So please don't feel sad for me. I know some people said that. I'm okay. Like, truly, I've had a bit of a difficult period again. I know these periods, like I said, they always pass, which doesn't mean if for you this is not passing, I urge you to get help, which there's no shame in getting help, and no shame in trying whatever you can to get that help and help yourself. Like I said, with medication, with therapy, with other things outside of like what is scientifically proven to help. You can also, I mean, run, go for a walk, knit, meditate, whatever feels good for you, but also that is not the solution for everything. So if you do need like concrete and professional help, I urge you to get it, and I urge you to speak to someone about it, because I do in my private life, and I've done pretty openly and publicly in my last episode, and I will be open about it, but it won't be like a major subject on my channel, because that is knitting. But yeah, I already feel better since last episode. I have a couple of days of work, which also helps. Thank you also to everyone who was bashing academia, because sometimes it just feels good to like bash about what you're a bit angry or what is a bit difficult in your life at this point. And I'm thinking about that and trying to like see where it goes. And this is not going to be my life forever, but yeah. That was a long-winded way of saying thank you to everyone who was reaching out. There were so many messages, and I really like I feel really grateful to have this channel now and be able to connect with people, help people, and help myself with it. Like, is there a better scenario? I don't think so, truly. So yeah, last thing that is on the agenda today. I'm sorry, this might be a long one, but I'm not, like, scratch that. I'm not going to apologize for it. I love long episodes. I know some of you guys love that. So if you're still here, I did put up a giveaway for this beautiful sock set by Olivia and Oliver in Elderflower and cotton last episode, and I said that I would be choosing a winner. I am really sorry about the spam bots that got into my comment section right after posting the video. I mean, some of you guys messaged me saying that there was someone pretending to be me and saying that you should contact them via another app. I mean, most of you knew that that was just a spam, but I was still like grateful for you guys messaging me and making me aware of that, like being a person that is impersonating me in a really bad way, might I say. And I'm never going to ask you to contact me anywhere else in the comments. I am, though, going to ask this person who is the winner of the giveaway to contact me either via Instagram, Ravelry, email, YouTube. This person has won. Thank you so much for participating and commenting. And I don't know if I will be doing giveaways on here in the near future. I might do another one on Instagram the next time. So if you do have Instagram or Ravelry, just follow me there if you want to. I'm posting, like I said, most of my projects on Ravelry and also more frequently on Instagram about my life and knitting, baking as well, travel and reading over there. So yeah, if you've won this giveaway, like I said, please contact me. This is the only way I'm going to announce winners. I'm going to draw with a random name picker from all of the comments who entered. I've seen a couple of fellow podcasters doing it a lot more like professionally than I did, and I think we're all learning from each other's mistakes and like spam bot experiences. So I'm doing it this way. It's something that I've also seen a couple of other YouTubers do. Also, the Woolly Worker, who's Venetia, is kind of like a shout out to her. I really enjoy watching her videos, and I've also been texting or like DMing with her, and she seems really nice. So if you want another like thing to watch, go check out her videos. And she also did quite recently put up a winner announcement, and that's how she did it. And I'm just shamelessly going to copy what she said about that. So please, if that is you, contact me via some of the links that I'm going to put in the description box as well. Instagram, Ravelry messages, YouTube, or email. Just make sure that you're able to show me that that is actually you. You should have the like same name, obviously, and then send me your address so I can send out this beautiful prize to you. I'm like really happy to be able to sometimes do giveaways like this. This was not gifted, it was paid for with my own money, but like I said, yeah, I'm just very grateful for all of you watching and sharing and commenting, and for me being able to be part of this community. And I think that's it. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said, if you enjoyed watching it, thank you to so many of you who already decided to do this. I would have never thought that after not even like 10 episodes that this podcast would be what it is now for me as well. I really enjoy producing these videos for you guys. I hope I know the light situation is not the best today, but I hope we can all like see past that today and give this video a thumbs up and write into the comments whatever you've been working on today while listening to my podcast if you want to. I love reading through those messages whenever you post them, and happy knitting. See you next time. Bye.